come here. So. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be doing a girls chat with my mom without our robes. We love our Target robes. We wear them all day, every day. So basically we're just going to be talking about relationships and depression, mental health, all of that. You guys have asked so many questions. You guys have requested this video. It's been very highly requested from you guys, so now I'm here to give it to you. So without further ado, where's my phone? Let's get right into the video. So the first question is how do you feel about the 50-50 relationship topic?
How do I feel about the 50-50 when it comes to bills? Or I feel like each relationship should be tailored to whatever is best for that relationship, going forward, because someone may not be in a financial position to do, well, I'll carry to say traditionally the husband will carry foot the bills. This may not be in that position. It may need to be 50-50 or it may be 60-40, it may be 70-30 until, you build up into that particular situation. Dad and I did, it was times I helped out in certain ways, and, it got to the point where we built where, he's able to carry everything. So it just really depends. I think you should tailor it according to what's feasible for your particular relationship. One thing you do not do is compare your financial situation or try to build a financial strategy according to someone else's relationship and not what's feasible for your own.
If you could go back in time, and wait until marriage, would you have waited?
Absolutely. I would have.
Why?
Because a lot of times we don't understand. A lot of people, I will use myself, for example, myself and a lot of my peers, we did not understand relationships. We didn't understand sex. We didn't understand any of those things. And again, you mentioned we are Christians, and we do, and I believe in the Bible and what it says. And in Song of Solomon, it says, don't awake love until you're ready. And I think a lot of times we, my peers at least, have indulged in those activities and we just weren't ready because it's a lot that comes along packed in that, emotionally, physically, even spiritually. And so I definitely would have waited. And then too, your mindset and how a lot of young people think at those times, they're not thinking long term. They're not thinking personal, me and you. They're thinking, I want to get her and her and her and her. And nowadays, women are like, some young women are thinking, I want to get him, and him. And it's a lot packed into there. You got diseases that can come along with that, especially myself being a nurse as well. I've seen a lot of people with diseases that people a number that people can't even imagine. So absolutely, I thank God that was not my situation, but I would have waited.
Do you think cheating is a deal breaker in a relationship?
I know this is going to be breaking news, but I don't think cheating is a deal breaker in a relationship to some people. I think cheating is a deal breaker to some, and maybe a deal breaker to some, may not be a deal breaker to everyone. And I think every situation is not the same. I will say that.
I would say, I feel like for me, it would have to be just because I'm the type of person where I'm going to keep bringing it up. So it's like either you're going to forgive him and y'all are going to move past it and you're not going to bring it up, or you're going to keep bringing it up and it's going to be a reoccurring problem. You're going to always throw it in his face. And so for me, it would be a deal breaker for me because that's something like I personally couldn't forget or like get past. Like, or like a guy having a baby on you, deal breaker. Like,
Right. I think I would say this. I have not dealt with infidelity, has not been an issue in my marriage, in my marital relationship. It hasn't. But I can say, for some people, again, it may be, and some, it may not be. it depends on the circumstances and everything that entailed. And it sounds like you're right, you crazy, but I really seen a lot of situations and a lot of things being a wife coach and a life coach in that sense, where people come with some very unusual situations, some kind of standard situations, but it really depends on, some people can get past that, some people may just be able to get past that.
What do you think is a good age to start dating as a younger woman?
You know what? I think it should be age appropriate, but it should also be maturity appropriate. So just because you may say, well, you know what, 15 is a good age or 16 is a good age, some people at 16 are not as mature as other people at 14. Mm-hmm. So it really depends. I think it's more than one thing element that should be considered, not just age appropriate, but maturity appropriate too.
What is like the craziest, most out of character thing you've done about your like feelings, like behind your feelings?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how girls, like even in your younger days, like girls will go bust a guy windows out, or...
I was wondering, like... In all honesty, I did some really, really, really crazy things. I am very thankful to God and fortunate that, I haven't heard of all the crazy things that my kids may have done, because God is good. But I just will say I've done some really crazy things. I haven't bust a window as much as I could say. I tried to, it just didn't bust. But I did a car chase. Car chase was the craziest thing.
I did that too.
Real live car chase. We talking. And God is good, because honestly, I regret that. If I could do it over, I wouldn't have did it. Thank God I didn't get in any accidents, but I could have hurt somebody, or somebody could have hurt me, because it was a real live...
I did a car chase before. I did the story time on my YouTube. I've never done anything like psycho, like... Oh, wait. I shook a girl out of her sleep before. But other than that, nothing too major.
I had a fight on the freeway, driving in the freeway. In the car.
Me too.
Well,
like measure like daughter.
That's not anything to brag about. That's just
your advice on like depression, how to deal with depression and mental health, because that's a big thing, especially in our generation. It's a lot. Like anxiety is so prevalent in our generation. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel like, what are the best ways to deal with depression and anxiety?
I think number one, to acknowledge that it exists. In my day and age, that wasn't something that was really acknowledged, and definitely not something that was really discussed or even dealt with. It was like, look, girl, just go on, you just tripping, or go get somebody to pray for you. And that is a very important thing to do. I would definitely advocate for prayer. Absolutely support and encourage that. Mandatory for my life. However, sometimes it's in conjunction with other things. I think it's number one. I would say acknowledge and deal with that, and get whatever kind of mental health you need. I personally would say from a Christian support system and concept, not just go out there and you got all kind of stuff. People are implementing all kind of what I would consider chaotic spirituality and all that kind of stuff in there. I would definitely say entering into something that is what I would say spiritually appropriate when it comes to getting any type of mental health help, but definitely get that help. However, one other thing, don't go to, just like it's not good to be so far to the right, it's not good to be so far to the left. Everything is anxiety. Everything is, oh my God, my anxiety, my anxiety, my anxiety. Oh my goodness, my mental health. Well, I'm bipolar. So, don't look at me this way or this way or this way, because that's sometimes people go just too overboard with it. And so they use it as a crutch, mm-hmm. Don't use it as a crutch, because it's a serious matter. And it's something that should definitely be balanced. Your mental health should be balanced. It shouldn't be too far to the left or right. Ask a question.
What do you think about teen pregnancy, and what is your advice to young girls that have gotten pregnant so young, or kind of just don't know what to do or where to go or how to go about the situation, or even girls who got pregnant and want to keep the baby but the dad isn't on the same page? Like, what would you give those girls? Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say number one, know that you are not alone. Know that you aren't the first. You won't be the last. Know that your life is not over. It may be transitioning and it definitely will change from what you've known it to be, but it's definitely not over. For those who are, thinking, oh my gosh, I want to keep my child, but the father is not active. I did that. I was a single parent at one time, so it's doable. You can do that. Now, I will not lie and say it's easy, because it's not. It is hard work. It's hard work when it's a two-parent home, but although it's hard work, it's absolutely doable. There are resources. There are people to help out in these situations, but I would definitely say pray and ask God to lead you through the entire process, whatever that may be.
What is your advice to young girls who, or even guys who are in a relationship with someone but their family, they don't get along with each other's family?
Oh, wow. I would say consider the relationship that person have with their family. What is it about the family that where the breakdown is? What is it? Is it because the family is come from a completely different background than yourself? What are the differences? What are the clash? What's the root of the clashing? Like, is it financial? Is it spiritual? Is it cultural? There are many different factors, many different things that can factor into those breakdowns. First of all, get to the root of the breakdown and try to understand why there is a breakdown. Then you need to ask yourself, okay, let's say I found out what that breakdown is. Is this something I'm willing to deal with if it doesn't change? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Say that person, family members or whatever, don't like you. Are you willing to deal with that in case it doesn't change? Because some people think, oh, well, you know what? That's
is
now. Is he willing to deal with that? Because, that's a very good point, Rachel, because sometimes people go, oh, it'll change. And it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's going to change. And is he willing to, especially if you're talking about marriage, you know what I mean? Is he willing to say, hey, let's say that they're not liking you for, all the, just trivial reasons, is he willing to say, this is my wife, I'm going to back my wife, my wife and I are going to be one? How would he handle that? Can he handle that?
Yeah.
Can she handle that? Because it may be her.
Yeah.
Can she handle that? Is that something you're willing to deal with? And so I think that's something, I think it's very important. It's very important to think about and consider before you actually go from being in a relationship and into marriage, because it doesn't necessarily change.
Yeah. What do you think about like friendships and friend groups and how they change? Kind of a lot of people are kind of growing up. We're getting into our 20s, so we're all going in different pathways of life. You can be growing apart from some of your friends you've known since you were little. Mm-hmm. It can be hard for some people, like for myself, I would say, to make friends now in this day and age, because it's just a lot that comes with a lot of girls. Like, what is your advice for that?
I would say, number one, embrace your individuality. Know who you are, or if you don't know who you are, learn who you are. Yeah. And that's important.
And I think, just bouncing off of that about learning yourself, I think that it's very important to kind of be in a sacred place or alone or isolated to figure out who you are before you try to, have a group of friends or even being in a relationship, because when you don't know yourself, you can kind of get lost into everybody else's life.
Now, I see it as this as well. Some people go apart, some people grow apart. Mm-hmm. Because some people can go their separate ways, but neither one have grown.
Yeah.
But some people can go their separate ways, and this one's grown and this one hasn't. And that makes a difference. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've always told my children that, you know, it's like in elementary, start out with 5,000 friends. If that cuts in half by middle school, cuts down to about 500 high school. By the time you graduate college, you may be in touch with two.
Yeah.
And it just, so that's, I mean, it's easy to say. I mean, someone may say it's easy to say on this side of the spectrum than, you know, when you're younger, and that's true. But I would say if you're at this present time, you're an adult and you're like, oh,
So
okay.
sorry guys, the camera cut off.
Okay.
But
let me just pick it up from where I was.
yeah.
When it comes to that, I would say don't follow a path that was paved for someone else's life. Embrace your own individuality. Embrace that. That's okay. You learn who you are. Get to know who you are. Know the purpose that and plan that God predestined for your life. And that may not include that person. It's important to know, you know, people who are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And most important to know the difference.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we try to make seasonal people lifetime people. And, you know, that's not how it was meant to be. And that's very, very important to differentiate that. So
what do you feel is some major red flags in men to stay away from? Like absolutely deal breakers, stay away from these type of men, and why?
When a man starts off trying to be controlling, like, you know, you just meet him. I'm true story, people, not even kidding. And I'm sure that, Rachel, you're probably going to be laughing about this, but this is a true story. Now, I came from back in the day, you know, when there was a lot of drug dealers out. I'm just being straight up. And, you know, so you meet people, and this one guy I met or whatever, and he tried to be like the first conversation, like, you know, like, I want to see you. I'm like, oh, I don't really care to see you. You know what I mean? Like, what? And just like really demanding and all of that. And I'm like, oh, no. I mean, and it came from that thing of, oh, well, I got money. So, you know. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not thirsty like that.
Right.
So I didn't care. When a person is very demanding, well, first of all, if a person is coming from a place of illegal activity, that is a red flag.
Definitely.
Okay? Because that is short-lived. And it seemed like it'll last forever. It will not. They either end up in jail or dead.
Yeah.
Those are normally the options. Now, some people make it out, make it past. The grace of God, thank you, Jesus. But other than that, it's short-lived. So the occupation, if it's illegal, let it go. If they're controlling, let it go. If they treat their moms, sisters, or other females as if, you know, they are the enemy, let it go. Because I'm telling you, if you see the way they treat their friends, even male friends, other male friends, or males, if you see the way the female treats her other female friends, not just male, you know, male people in her family, but female friends, and they treat them bad, they're disloyal, they're not right, they just, you know, let it go. Because I'm gonna tell you, just because they haven't done it to you in a specific length of time, it just means it wasn't your turn yet. Mm-hmm. So
inconsistency as well.
Inconsistency, especially lying. Because some people will go, okay, you know, this came up and that came up and this, all that stuff ain't coming up by happenstance. Right. Or, you know, cut it. They a liar, trust me. You won't cut that quick. Another thing, a red flag. When a woman calls a man, or when a man calls a woman, oh, hey, wife, you my wife. Or hey, husband, and you're not. And that's what they don't see. Some people make the mistake of thinking, oh, they're saying that because they thinking about marrying me. No, a lot of times they're saying this is as far as you're going to get. It's me calling you that, and not you actually, me legitimizing you in that position in my life. So that's a red flag too, seriously.
Me. Like, right. Oh, we're just going to be like sneaky links, or we're just friends with the benefits, or calling Chrissy and Jim Jones, Emily B and Fab situation. Oh, we've been dating for 10 years, but marriage has never been an option. If somebody has to string you along for that long, they don't plan on being with you. It doesn't take a man 10 years, let alone 2. It really don't even take a man 6 months to know if you're the one for him or not.
To be honest, that's true. Now, my thing is, again, somebody be like, well, you know, you my wifey, or you know, you my... No, No. Trust me. You'll
Especially
be strung
if they
along
start
for a
calling
long
you baby
time.
mama. Like, that's my baby mama. Like,
That's not endearing. First of all, it's not respectful.
Yeah.
And it's not endearing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're together, but they keep saying you, oh, this baby mama. No, that's not cool.
Yeah.
I don't care if you actually are the baby mama. If you the baby mama and y'all not, and you two are still dating or supposed to be dating or in a relationship together, you're not, and you're calling me baby mama, trust me, that's not just a title. That's the position in which they see you, they view you, and hold you in that position, and that's it.
Yeah.
My thing was this, me and Dad just talked about this, and we were like,
you want this in the video?
Yeah, we could talk about this.
Okay.
And me and Dad was just talking about it. In this day and age, to me, times don't change. It's times change, but methods don't.
Yeah.
You know, things are still the same. And Dad and I were talking about how when you know, back in the day, and I was like, honey, you know, back in the day when you used to be out there and you was having sex with women, I'm like, how often did you spend a night with them? Did you actually stay the full night? And he was like, I didn't. Mm-hmm. And I said, why? He was like, because after I got what I want, I was good. I didn't need to spend the night. You know, he said, I would go in there in the bathroom and page myself, because back then it wasn't no cell phone. So you get the house phone and you page yourself or whatever, you leave. And I bet you, and men are, you know, a lot of men are continuing this behavior.
Yeah.
But it seems to me in this day and age with this generation, it's more acceptable.
Yeah.
And I'm confused about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I put it like this: it's acceptable in the sense where they're not protesting against that, or it's not even it's not something that they presented as being questionable. Yeah. It's just kind of like, oh, he leaving, because it's like they indulge in a position of a side chick. Like, it's not even a secret no more. Yeah, I'm side chicking. Yeah, I'm with this guy. He got a woman, and I'm like, I'm so confused with that. Why is that a thing?
I genuinely believe that it starts at home. I really believe that it starts at home. You can tell who was raised by a side chick, and I'm just being real. You can tell the difference between women or girls who were raised by somebody who was a side chick and somebody who was a wife. Or somebody who was, it not even didn't have to be a wife, but held themselves to a certain standard that they were not going to accept anything lower than what they, you know, believed in. Mm-hmm. And then you can tell whose mom lived with a married man. Like, you can tell those type of things. So it's just like, I really believe that it starts at home, and it's an example that is set, and it's a standard. I genuinely believe that. And a lot of girls don't hold themselves. They don't have the confidence, and they don't have the right people around them to show them or to tell them, like, hey, hold yourself here, or hey, don't accept this, don't accept that. And don't get me wrong, I have, you know, we all are young and we grow and we learn certain things. So but it's okay for your standards to change. I think that's something that a lot of girls don't understand. From when you're in, exactly, when you're in middle school or beginning of high school, by the time you're out of college, anything that you accepted through high school and through college, you would probably never think to do. It's just like a growing process, I believe. So it's like, just as me being younger, some of the stuff that I kind of allowed, I would never, ever allow that right now, or ever allow.
And you know what? It actually is true, because Dad and I were talking about this in our, you know, our pillow talk, keeping it real pillow talk. And my thing is, you know, Dad was like, well, you know, we both, in all honesty, we were sexually active before we got married. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of like, well, how did you feel when, if that's ever happened to you? He had asked me if that ever happened to you, where someone got up and left out. I didn't have a bunch of boyfriends. I literally can count, okay? And it definitely wouldn't take off 10 fingers at all. It wouldn't even take a second hand. Yeah. So the thing is, like, how did you feel if that ever happened to you, where somebody got up and they left? And I said, yeah, it did happen to me. And he's like, how did you feel? I said, it was humiliating. Yeah. It was condescending. It was demeaning. It was horrible. And so my thing is, I know that couldn't have changed today. Those feelings and those situations, I'm sure, rendered the same, you know, behavior. Behavior still renders the same feelings. You know, you still feel, women today still feel that way. They may accept those feelings as, okay, I'll get over that. but it doesn't change, and you can't tell me you're not humiliated, that you're not, it's not, you don't feel less than. You know, it's hurtful. You know what I mean?
That's the type of stuff that'll make you either accept it or raise your standards.
Yeah, that's true.
How can you tell the difference of when a guy just wants to be with you for the benefits that come with you, or just actually wants to be with you?
And when you say benefits, are you saying sex?
That too.
I will say this. First of all, any guy who really cares about being with you and really interested in getting to know you or developing a relationship will never hide you. You will never be a side thought or an afterthought or a side chick. That type of stuff, that means he never had any intentions of ever getting to know you or developing any kind of real relationship with you. Another thing, if he's constantly talking about when we getting together and it's always at night, he knows what he wants. It's just sex.
Right.
They called it booty call at one time.
Yeah.
But it's literally just sex. So you know that, if that's the case. Sometimes you don't know right off, but there are signs. When you see signs, do not ignore those signs. Don't ignore those signs. If somebody said, well, you know, me and my baby mama, we just at a crossroads right now. I don't know if I really want to be with her. I'm just, you know, but I don't want to get into another relationship right now because I'm in a situationship right now. So I just want to see how things will work out with somebody else before I leave her. Well, what's stupid about that is if the relationship is so bad, why wouldn't you want to leave it?
Exactly.
But a lot of times when we're young, you wounded, you hurt, you already got rejection issues. Maybe the father not in your life. Maybe you've been through different situations. Maybe, you know what I mean? Issues may be in that and catch you at that extreme vulnerable time. Like you said, especially if it's not taught.
Yeah.
Prior to that, you know, you could fall prey. Different reasons why people indulge in those types of issues, situations.
Yeah.
However, it is a crock of garbage. That means he just gonna keep that baby mama, keep playing games with that baby mama, keep playing games with you, and you just gonna end up being that side chick, okay? Yeah. It just, I mean, seriously, that's just what that means. And I have a question for you because, and I know during my time, you know, it was definitely not a thing at all that people would even consider doing a threesome or anything like that and being just okay with it and telling somebody about it. First of all, I didn't know a lot of people I didn't know anybody that was doing that, to be honest with you. And if they did, they definitely wasn't telling anybody. Yeah. So my thing is, how in the world is that considered okay? Like, when did this we gonna share a man thing come into play? Like, that is the most ridiculous thing.
Okay, so from my perspective, I personally would never in my entire life do anything like that. I think a lot of girls, and just from my point of view, I think there are some girls who do it to keep a man or who do it to make a man. So from my point of view, I think and this is just my point of view. Mm-hmm. I think there are some girls who actually do it for attention, who do it to keep a man or to make a man feel pleased. And I genuinely think that some girls are really gay and really are into those type of things. But me personally, it's just not my type of vibe. I would never do it. I just don't think, it just gives off the wrong idea to me. It doesn't give wife. It just gives like, I'm going to go for anything. And that's just my take on it. No disrespect to anybody who's into them type of things. But me personally, I just don't think that it's just good as a woman to make a man feel like he can have two women at once. And like you're okay with it because he's going to always... And I think a lot of girls do it to keep a man from cheating, but that's still cheating, one.
Well, I was going to say, but actually you're validating the
cheating.
beginning.
And then
you're indulging
that's not going to make a man stop cheating. That's literally not. So I honestly, genuinely, I can't answer that because I'm not into those type of things. I would never indulge in anything like that, and I don't support anything like that. I genuinely just don't. That's how me and one of my friends met. We were at a girls' night. We were playing a game, and that question came up, and a lot of girls were like, or some of the girls were like, I would, or me and the girl was like, y'all crazy. Y'all sound crazy. Like, nah, like we was like, y'all on your own with that one.
And again, with myself, if that's what someone else is indulges in, that's their choice, you know, but that's not something that I would ever indulge in. And not just that, I don't want anyone who has indulged in that type of behavior to feel as though they're, you know, God don't love you or anything, because God loves you regardless. But I would definitely say, if you are indulging in something like that, you really need to think about reevaluate your standards, or if you have any at all.
Yeah.
Because actually you're validating that behavior, and you're telling that guy, you really don't ever have to just be with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm validating that either we gonna be with more, you know, you get to be with two women at the same time, or it's women out there who with men who a man comes into the relationship, you know, which that's a whole nother story. So
I know a lot of girls who are bisexual and do like doing those type of things. They always say, don't ever do it to please a man. They're even the ones saying, like, to do that to please a man is crazy. So I'm just saying, from my standpoint, if you were thinking about it and you know that's not something that you really are into, don't lower your standards, and
I will tell you something.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really enjoyed this girl talk. Let us know in the comments what other videos you guys want us to do together. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and go to both of our social medias, which will be in the description box below. We appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video.